One of the biggest setbacks that I have struggled the most with is rejection. Whether that is, early on in my life, it was rejection in personal relationships, but then it was rejection with jobs. It was rejection when I'd share an idea in a meeting and no one would respond to it. And I would internalize every single one of those rejections and make it mean something about myself. Now, what I have since learned through doing my PhD, doing the research, looking at what exists, and we have a data set of 30,000 people that we've been analyzing for many years. And what I found is that, most people think it's a confidence problem. Oh, you're just not confident enough. Actually, what the research tells us is that it's not a confidence problem. It is a struggle with a specific form of self-doubt. And there are 4 forms of self-doubt, or 4 ways that it shows up. And it creates what's called your doubt profile, which is like your psychological fingerprint for how doubt shows up for you. Once you can understand what your psychological fingerprint of self-doubt is, rather than trying to fix everything or think it's just a confidence issue, you can really drill down to determine what is weak and how do you strengthen it to have the greatest impact in your life. And so for me, that idea of taking rejection personally was a sign of a lack of self-acceptance, which is the first driver of self-doubt. I didn't accept myself, and therefore I was looking for evidence that confirmed that I was not enough. So someone didn't like my idea, I'm not good enough to be there. Someone didn't want to give me a role in their team, I'm not good enough to be in the company. Everything was about me. Now, I'll take you through the other 3 attributes because it's so important to understand that self-doubt is not just one big blob of worry and insecurity and fear. It's nuanced. So the first one is acceptance. If that is low, you tend to people please because you outsource your worth, because if they like you, then maybe you can like yourself. You tend to be addicted to achievement because if you achieve something, then maybe you are of value. But then if you don't achieve it, you take it personally. Then we also have the second, which is our agency. So the agency pillar relates to capability. Can you actually do the thing? When that is weak, you hesitate when there's an opportunity. You convince yourself you're not ready. You compare yourself to everyone around you and feel inadequate. The third relates to autonomy, which is your sense of control. We can't control everything in our lives, but if we focus on everything outside of our control, we feel powerless because we are powerless. So autonomy relates to you focusing on the choices you can make and then being empowered to make those choices. When that is low, we complain, we feel resentful, we blame other people, and we keep ourselves stuck because we feel like there's nothing we can do. That's a form of self-doubt as well. And then the fourth is adaptability. It relates entirely to managing your emotional world. When it's low, you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, you're stressed, you're anxious. Everything feels like you're on the edge. So these are the 4 drivers of self-doubt. I go into so much more detail in the book, Big Trust. We help you diagnose where you are, what your psychological fingerprint is, and then how to strengthen them, because the ultimate state, when they're all strong, is a state of big trust. You don't have to eliminate the self-doubt, you just have to trust yourself more so that you can hear the voice, but not let it decide your decisions for you. What's really important to understand about self-doubt is it's a function of a healthy functioning brain. So our brain loves to be able to predict things. It loves certainty. That's when it feels like it's in its element. That's when everything is calm and peaceful. Prediction. We experience self-doubt when there's no certainty about an outcome. I don't know if I'll get the job. What if this happens? What if that? When there's no certainty, our brain will go through this predictive process to try and predict every possible outcome. It wants to do that because it's trying to protect you from threat, from harm. But of course, those threats and harms aren't physical threats and harms. They are rejection, criticism from someone else, looking silly. So it perceives those things as harms, and then it magnifies everything that could go wrong because it's trying to predict these things to keep you safe. That is essentially what self-doubt is. Self-doubt is your brain's way to try and manufacture certainty where there is none, and this is why we get stuck in overthinking, because the brain likes a loop to close. But when there's uncertainty, there's no loop closing, so it's just constantly running. Maybe this will happen, that might happen, what if this, what if that? And if you listen to all of that, I'm sure we've experienced it, it becomes all-consuming. It's safer to do nothing, because then you're safe, but you're also completely stuck. So we need to acknowledge, okay, self-doubt, again, doesn't mean I'm broken. It's my brain braining, doing what it does. I can rationally process these thoughts. I don't have to embody them or internalize them or personalize them. What can I learn from them? And then how can I take action with that?